occurring here.
You mentioned earlier that the world is evil. Do you think it's best not to be concerned with changing the world because that's a pointless thing and just be concerned with working with your own reality and maybe perhaps the people close to you?
Oh, that's the trap. You have just isolated the trap. The trap is that we are so powerful that we actually assume the characteristics of the very things that we pay attention to, that we study. So the individualized immortal soul that's in here passing through, if this person begins to focus on the negativity and begins to focus on the things that are evil, then this individual actually begins to suffer the very circumstances that it has brought into its own personal awareness. Yes, we're not supposed to focus on this negativity and this evil. That's the trap. That's how artificial intelligence X lures souls into the collective and then traps them in different modes of dungeon programming. This negative default programming is all over the world, and we'll never escape it. And we're always phasing in and out. I do too. And all throughout the videos on my channel, people see how I don't just teach this, but I apply it and I show different life lessons. I do van vlogs and I explain, hey, this is what I did in this particular situation. And this is what happened to me. This is what I did when I ignored this. Or this is what I did when I started entertaining this. And look what's happened to me, guys. Oh my God, I just lost all this money. I lost these contracts. I've been a contractor for a while. And on my channel, I take people on my jobs and I show them human interactions in jobs that collapse, jobs that do really good. And I show these principles operative in my life to give people examples. So, yes, it's the very thing, just like you said, it's when you focus on the negative that you actually bring into your existence the negative aspects of our reality. Yeah, you can't focus on the negative. You will never save the world because it wasn't here for that purpose. Saving the world is a materialist perspective. It means that you're basically admitting that you don't have the necessary faith in the oversoul, that the oversoul has a plan and is going to solve the problem itself. That for some reason you think, this is ego, you think that you're necessary in the unfolding of this grand plan that the oversoul has, that you're needed in some way and you're not. You're here to grow. This is a program. It's a series of overlapping holographic templates that we pass through, that we construe as reality, but it's all artificial. Everything here. The more we study any physical phenomena, the more we find there's really nothing there. It's all oscillating fields of light. The more we magnify the heavens in a telescope, the more we find that what we're seeing is optics that's basically ruled in holographic principles. Things are not making sense the more we magnify the heavens with a telescope. And we have to come up with more and more theories to make up for that because it's getting us further and further away from the material physical universe that we thought we lived in. And the more we magnify things with a microscope, the more we find that things become amorphous and that the actual things that we thought were physical are actually very far apart from each other, and there's more open spaces and vacuum between things that we considered physical, that there's actually nothing there. Even the models that were given, whether they're true or not, of atoms and orbiting electrons and protons and neutrons, even these models themselves, if they are true and we can truly see these things like physicists claim, I don't know if it's true or not, I can't see them, but even if they're true, it shows us that physical reality isn't physical at all, because an electron is so far away from its parent nucleus that there's nothing but intervening space between them. So if atoms never don't touch each other, and the actual components of atoms don't touch each other, and they're very far apart, then anything that I perceive as physical is actually more open space than actually physically there, and that any physicality is the property of my perception, which can easily be deceived. So the more we study reality, the more we find everything is relegated to oscillating fields. So if everything is oscillating fields, and that means vibration and basically what we're resonating on has more application than belief. Let me give you an example. We experience things on a daily basis that comports with how we're resonating. And you can see this operative in your daily life all the time. Get up in the morning with a negative attitude and watch how many negative things happen to you before noon, before you even take your lunch. From the time you woke up, it's nothing. It's rapid fire. Stub your toe first thing in the morning, then a door closes on your ankle, then you trip on something, then you get a phone call and you get in an argument with somebody, then you're going through your emails, and the emails that stand out to you are the ones that are just all negative, and it puts you more. Once you're vibrating on a certain frequency, reality will reciprocate and bring into contact with you all those things that are vibrating on that same frequency. This is why we need to guard our attitudes. This is why a positive mind is actually key to overcoming the simulacrum itself. So in answer to your question, God is the simulacrum, and we're existing within God. I just don't really use these terms on my channel. I normally stick to the technological, but that's essentially what is happening here. What we're calling a simulation is only a frame of reference, and it turns a lot of people off. But we have no other word in English to describe the properties of reality. Because if you say it's technological, people are turned off because you have ignored the divine. If you say it's God, then people are turned off because it's clearly technological. So we have a problem here with our inability to describe the very phenomenon that we're experiencing right now. Reality has the properties of a sentient hologram, but we don't have a word that can describe that. An intelligent holography that is not physical, but by virtue of the central nervous system, it makes us believe that everything is physical. But these are just signal translations. These are signal translations through optics, through feelings, through the olfactory senses, the audio senses. But these are just signals, and these signals through the central nervous system are actually broadcast throughout the rest of our system by virtue of the brain, and the brain broadcasts these signal transferences, and we feel pain, and we feel cold and heat. We feel all these polarities for which draw us into this world and make us believe that it's real, but it's not. There's really nothing physical around us. Everything is spirit, but it's at different phases, it's at different modes, and it's these different modes that make us believe in the physicality of our existence.